First 3 to 4 months, I had zero income, right? It's a zero. So you don't know, you need to have that saving, you need to have that backup. Nobody believes you. Why would they give you a job? I keep saying that I knocked many doors and no doors got open. And then I had to build one.
I'd like to touch upon the competition. How do you handle the competition? A bit of about growth or the first client.
When I got my first client, I was not even hoping that I would get the client. If I remember right, we need a proposal. Please submit your proposal for the training programs. And it's one of the biggest companies in the world. And why would they come to me and ask for my proposal? What did I do differently?
Venkatesh Rajamani has a lot of attitude. How do you take that criticism? Hey, hi Venkat.
Hi Arun.
Okay, so we are here today based on different requests from a number of people that we interacted with. A lot of people wanted to know how we started tryScrum, as in you started tryScrum, and how I was with you together. So we thought we'll do a video on day 0 to day 100 about tryScrum. So that's why we are here. And it's a little weird for me to ask questions. I've been with you right from day one where you started. At least not as part of tryScrum, but I know in and around you, I've been with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap in some of my memories that I've known, and also the struggles and also the successes. Are you okay with that?
Absolutely, Arun. Pleasure.
Okay, so let's start with the name. So many people ask, what's in a name? Why tryScrum?
Okay, so that's a good question. And there is nothing much that I can share. One fine day that I thought I would quit the corporate and I wanted to name a company. I was looking around so many names in the internet. I still believe that I would find a name that is going to be perfect. And I went on doing a Google search. I found so many names, and whatever the name that I chose, Google told that the name already exists. And then I tried for almost 3.5 hours, and then I found, okay, let's try something. Okay, why not put tryScrum? And that's how the name tryScrum. To be honest, I didn't think much to name a company, but it was a natural fall, I would say.
So also, first time when you showed me this logo of our 5 hands and with different colors in it. So how did you come to that conclusion that we should use 5 hands?
See, when I was founding tryScrum, my vision is to humanize organizations, right? And when you say humanizing, there are many ways to represent how do you humanize. I thought it would be a great idea to put hands together, which means everybody should come together to make something happen. And that was the natural coincidence, I believe.
So we, being in this world, we talk a lot about market gap, market opportunity. So what gap did you see in the market to start the tryScrum as a product?
Okay, so first of all, I didn't think tryScrum as a product. Maybe now I would call this as a product.
Yeah.
But way back when I started, one market gap that I always found, I don't know if that is a market gap. When I was working in corporates, we know, right, there are so many things happening, but sometimes no outcomes. Unfortunately, a couple of companies that I worked in the past filed bankruptcy. And when you are an employed salary, when you know that your employer is filing a bankruptcy, it's unfortunate to me at least. I felt so sad that somebody is paying for me, but they filed bankruptcy. So I started thinking aloud, okay, what is that I can do? I cannot change the whole world, but what is that I can do as an individual that I can come up and do an actionable improvement on this? At the same time, invite so many fellow people to join this, to really humanize organizations so that we don't go into the state of bankruptcy, because bankruptcy is going to affect the employees' moral. At the same time, it is also going to affect the organization. I think that was I wouldn't say gap, that was the incident that really shook me to create such vision and a company of which purpose.
Okay, so I know for a fact that you are very fond of this statement, humanizing organizations, right? Do you want to little bit elaborate on that to other people as well?
Okay, so see, this humanizing organization might have different meanings. For example, people say to different people it means different things. But at least in my opinion, when I say humanizing organization, I feel that you need to expand the solution space. And many companies take solutions or make solutions, right? So when they are designing something, we need to expand the number of people involved in that solution space so that the solution is going to be really useful. So number of people involved in making that solution need to be expanded. That is what I mean by humanizing organization.
Okay, so I have a list of questions. I'm trying to check this, what I can ask next. Probably I'll do this. So we have this word called early adopters. So when you introduced this, were there any early adopters for you who grabbed it immediately when you launched tryScrum, or what was the struggle like?
So what do you mean by early adopters?
So we, as tryScrum, we provide some service, right? So there will be people in the market who come and grab our service.
Okay.
We call them as early adopters, isn't it? Yeah.
That was a long journey, to be honest, and literally we were not able to sell even a single ticket for almost 3 months. I think everybody might go through that journey because nobody knows who you are, what are you trying to do. All of a sudden, this person is coming and starting his own company. Whether this is totally commercialized or the person is trying to do something useful, that requires a few clients at least, right? So early adopters were people from 1 or 2 companies who saw my posting on LinkedIn. I think I still remember LinkedIn is one of my favorite platforms, at least to spread your cause and the word of mouth and all that. So initially the word of mouth is you, not anybody else. So the early adopters were a few people coming from one of the service-based companies in Chennai and attended my workshop. I think one of the early adopters is you, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Right? If I believe so.
My first PSM and workshop, or first workshop with the Scrum.org was.
Yeah, so you're saying Scrum.org, not tryScrum, because you don't know who is tryScrum, right?
No, I know Scrum.org's workshop.
Yes.
Through tryScrum. That's what I'm saying. Yes.
So that was the first early adopter, I would say, and after that it was a big shift.
Sorry to interrupt. How did you think of using me as a back-end support person to speak to different people? What inspired you to pull me into that?
Nothing, because we are only 2 members company, and I was already doing a lot of website work, and I think I still remember that I built my website on my own because I did not have any funds to outsource the website work to anybody. So eventually there were people inquiring for courses, and then I had to do the website work scheduling courses. I need to do marketing work, and I also need to do email support and all that, chat support. So I wanted to give a little bit of load to somebody, and fortunately you landed, and we were only 2 members running that show. So I just asked you if you could do that.
Absolutely, yes. I was doing it unofficially though, but officially for tryScrum. Now, I just want to tap on my memory on how we initially thought of having a closed group of people and then trying to tap a community. In fact, we met in a coaching workshop in IBIS yesterday in Thousand Lights. When we were passing by, we saw that. So that time you had an idea of, hey, I need to create a community of people, and then I need to expand some of knowledge to those people. So can you talk about that community that we started, which helped tryScrum as well?
Yeah, so see, community is a great thing, okay, and people who are in the community are like-minded people who wanted to spread a good cause. And definitely the intention to start the community is to not to sell classes, is to do something with respect to the humanizing organizations that we were speaking. So I remember, I think we started something called Scrum Master Studio, and that was our meetup group name, and we were thinking about what to name, and finally we landed. So the idea to start that community is to get like-minded people on board, so that those people are going to spread and work for the community for the better cause. I still remember some of the people who were in the community in the initial days still with us, right? And they are going to even support the regional Scrum gathering, which is coming this July 2025. Way back 9 years, they have been with us, some of us.
Absolutely, yes.
So that's the power of community, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. So I just wanted to touch upon that. Since you talked about regional Scrum gatherings, it all started in a small place near in the Thuraipakkam OMR, where we didn't even rent the place. We went for a coffee, we spoke about that in the community. And then now we are talking about hosting a regional Scrum gathering by Scrum Alliance, a global brand, Scrum Alliance, allowing us to host third time consecutively in India. So how do you see that reflection?
It's a pleasure. And when I reflect back, I'm really privileged that the Scrum Alliance is giving such opportunity to us. So the people who worked hard in the grounds, the community members, is also instrumental in making this happen, I would say, because as an individual, we cannot do anything. It's all the people around us who is being a part of this community and supporting this bigger cause, which we are trying to humanize still organizations, especially in the age of AI. In the age of AI.
Okay, so now we talked a little bit about the introduction of the company. I tried to touch upon the struggles that you faced in the initial days. I know personally, I've seen you, even though I was not helping much those times, probably just viewing through calls. But I would like to ask you, what were the biggest challenges that you faced in the early days of tryScrum?
Oh, those are many. Like everybody else, every entrepreneur, if you ask them, there are two challenges always come in front of them. One is the financial challenge, and the other one is opportunity challenge. Right? Financial challenge, yes, I did not have any financial commitments. I'm not a fan of EMI, but still I had to do a basic things. I need to pay my bills. I need to take care of my family. So first 3 to 4 months, I had zero income. So it was a tough job to leave your corporate and be on your own with no income. Especially I don't have any savings because I'm not a fan of, I didn't know that I have to save something to start a company, right? It's a zero. So you're actually coming from the level zero. So you don't know, you need to have that saving, you need to have that backup, and then you need to jump onto the entrepreneurship because I'm a quick decision maker. So the transition was also a bit quicker. So that was one struggle. The other struggle was, in fact, opportunity struggle, right? Nobody believes you. Why would they give you a job? And why would they even respect you if you are one among 10,000, 1 lakh people in their community? Somebody is coming and saying that I'm good at training and I'm good at this. Can you give me an opportunity? So to find that opportunity itself was a big task. And as I keep saying that I knocked many doors and no doors got open, and then I had to build one. So that was a big challenge. And
Definitely, I saw that from close quarters. You used to share a lot of stories every day over the phone, right? Yeah. Thank you for sharing that to everyone. So now probably the next question would be a bit of about growth or the first client, the experience that you had with respect to one of the biggest client that you got in the initial days. When you had very little brand by as a tryScrum that time. Can you talk about that?
so tryScrum was zero. Nobody knows what is tryScrum. At least a few people know now what is tryScrum. When I got my first client, I was not even hoping that I would get the client. So I was shooting at the dark. Like it's like I was shooting. Something will click. We would go with that. So I was totally trusting the flow, was not scripting anything that I would get this client. I had to target this. I had to target that company. So there were no thoughts around that. I kept on doing my job, but one fine day I got an email around 9:45 p.m. ish, if I remember right, that we need a proposal. Please submit your proposal for the training program. So I did not even know what is United Nations, to be honest with you. And when I sent the proposal and then I went on to Googling what is United Nations, so I was stunned to see that it's about a World Health Organization and it's one of the biggest companies in the world. And why would they come to me and ask for my proposal? What did I do differently? And then a few weeks I was waiting for their response. I didn't get. I checked with a few people in the community. Did you get such emails? No, we didn't. And did you get such emails? No, we didn't. And then I was waiting, and one fine day, all of a sudden, I got an email stating that your proposal was accepted and you're expected to travel down to the Switzerland office to deliver your face-to-face workshop. And I was on cloud 9 because everybody else do, right? You are getting your first client, and that too, you don't even know what is your client and what the size of your client. But when you all of a sudden you recognize the client is one of the largest companies in the world, It was a fantastic experience.
Okay, so on that note, I would like to tap on one more thing, that a blunder that you did on the way to Switzerland. You left your laptop in the airport,
Yes.
and then I got to go and collect it in the airport, but you left the laptop and then went to training. How did you manage that?
Yeah, because of the panic mode, I would say, see, everybody who is struggling to get one client got a big client getting invited to their headquarters. I was totally nervous, and literally I was hitting the bathrooms for more than 10, 12 times on the flight because I was super nervous. What's going to happen and all that. It's expected that because of that nervousness, I left my laptop in the airport, and that too not in, I think in the Chennai airport itself,
Yeah,
right?
in the Chennai airport
And I
itself.
was not even known whether I left my airport in Chennai or in Dubai, right? When I went there, the first question they asked me was, "What is that you need in this room to set up?" And I was saying, "I need a laptop." They were like, "Didn't you bring your laptop?" And then I was very honest. I missed my laptop. This is my first assignment. I was nervous, and look what people were literally looking at me like, this guy left his laptop, and how is he going to deliver the workshop? Is he going to be all right, or did this company do a mistake? So that was a thought. But luckily I was given a laptop, and I was using my materials through a common drive that was given to me, and I was able to successfully deliver the workshop.
Actually, I got panicked when I had to get into the security officers in Chennai. They were questioning like a thief who's trying to poach something out from the security person. Okay, that's on a lighter note. Okay, now let's jog back our memory and let's try to talk about the clients that you receive. So now let's just brief us on number of clients that we have, the number of people that we have trained, something on that note, just a number crunching thing.
Okay, so I don't know exactly how many clients we have. I need to look at our Zogo system, but yeah, I remember vaguely that we have 120 clients in the system. In the last 8 years, it took 8 years for us to get 120 clients, corporate clients. But our alumni base is really growing. We have 12,000 plus alumni base across the globe, and I think more than we trained in more than 14 countries.
Okay, so I want to touch on a critical aspect that you get to hear from a lot of people. Venkatesh Rajamani has a lot of attitude. That's what we get to hear from different people. I used to laugh at them, but yeah, how do you take that criticism?
Yeah, I think you need criticism, and that's when you can be of sure that people are noticing you, right? But on the other side of the coin, I don't take this into hearts, because people who criticize you never worked with you, right? If someone had worked with you, they know you, or they have established a relationship with you, then it makes sense to even reflect on that feedback. But how do I see is, when you go through a journey which is very really tough and nobody notices what are the different chasms that you would have crossed, and people only notice that you are successful because of that you are not responding. For example, a random encounter that somebody pings me on LinkedIn and say, I want to become a CST, for example, certified Scrum trainer. And initially I used to respond like, I'm so sorry, I'm not having time to really mentor because it's a long journey, but I can give you more information if you want over messages. People would not respond back, stating that I'm not ready to mentor, right? And then I changed my approach. I would not respond at all. And for that also people say that this person is not even responding. So at some point I realized, if you are going to reply, people are going to take it differently. If you don't reply, people are going to take it differently. So you can't go and change everybody's mind, what others think of you, right? But you can try to attempt, or you can try to explain people that only if you work with me, you know me. So in the initial days, I knocked many doors, no doors were open, people criticized me, people in fact thought that I would not become a great trainer. I'm not saying I'm a greatest trainer ever, right? But people not even giving an opportunity, people did not respond to me. I never thought they were having attitude, right? It's because they have a bigger fish to fry. And why would somebody give me an opportunity if if nobody knows me, I have not delivered any training, everybody will have to start from the zero. So that is why I used to respond to people when they ask me, hey, you need to do X, Y, Z before going to A, B, C, so that we can certainly, be of help. So in short, I just follow my mother's principle that don't try to explain to somebody who is not even related to you, because people are going to have different thoughts. But if people are really interested in knowing about you, they are going to be in touch with you, they are going to work with you. And people who work with me know me very well, and that's more than enough.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. So now you talked about not being a great trainer. So let's not get into that training. I wanted you. So being as a trainer, one needs to continuously learn. So I'm totally amazed. I should say I am feeling the pressure of to catch up with you or to be with you. I always have that pressure. You have been doing program after program after program, to name a few. So you have been probably, I can say it is safe to say, first Tamil PST in this region, and then first PST to hold a CTC and a CEC with Scrum Alliance. And also on top of that, first one to hold all these along with the CST, and then a PKT, and then ICF PCC. On top of that, you did MS in digital transformation. On top of that, you're doing now PhD, almost done, PhD in Guinea American University on the leadership. It takes a breath to say that as well. How are you managing this along with doing these trainings?
See, one thing, the unique point of tryScrum is, if people are coming to you, they need to really trust you that the stuff that I'm going to learn from tryScrum is going to be on par with the world standards. So wherever I go, if I say this, people are going to really get recognition of what they learned, right? So for that, you got to do a lot of work. And when you go and teach people what is entrepreneurship, you cannot say that just because I'm running a company, I know entrepreneurship. You got to go and see different entrepreneurship articles, what is that said, what is the latest research on entrepreneurship. Take for any matter, design thinking, your digital transformation, what is trending, what are the good schools, Ivy League schools talking about that, what is trending in that industry. So you got to really catch up with so many things. So as an educator, I have a lot of pressure and responsibility to ensure that people coming to me are going to be going out with a truly authentic and world-class education. So I think success will not lower the bars. We have to rise our standards. So that is the reason I think I have been doing this, and still a long way to go.
I'm trying to catch up as well. Okay, so now I'd like to touch upon the competition. How do you handle the competition with biggest players that we have in the market?
So I don't know how they see me, but I'm not seeing anybody as a competitor, because it's good to have competitors, but I cannot go and say big companies are my competitors. I'm no way related to them, and I'm not going to definitely give competition to them, in my opinion. So only one thing I see a competition is, I wanted to always create a non-competing space. I don't want to. There is a good analogy and the principle that I like, a blue ocean strategy, right? So I don't want to get lost in the red ocean. I wanted to create a small non-competing space, no matter what the size of that space, but we wanted to be a differentiator. We wanted to be a unique provider. We don't want to get lost in the red ocean. So to be honest, I never and ever thought of any competitor so far and then try to compete with them. Always I look and I also endorse to my team that we got to rise our standards. So in my opinion, I'm very neutral to the competitions, that I'm not actually overwhelmed with the competition. At the same time, I'm not seeing competitors as a threat.
Okay, so we talked, you said now tryScrum is a product, you would agree. So we know about the product life cycle. So as far as I know, our tryScrum is getting into that maturity and then getting into some sort of a saturation, if I'm not wrong. So, and also you talked about continuously creating a non-competing space. So could you please touch upon what are the next plans of Try?
So I See, we can tell in two dimensions, right? We are not getting into the saturation point, right? If you don't want to get into the saturation point, you need to extend your life cycle. So the extension of that life cycle after the maturity, yes, Scrum industry is a bit matured because many people got trained on Scrum.
Yeah.
And many companies have already embraced Scrum. So whether they truly embraced Scrum or Scrum fall is a different thing to discuss, right? Altogether a different topic. But the next wave that we need to be really focusing on is the next generation of org, right? We are not going to always think about what is the past. We've got to think about the future. So the try business agility is for that. People are looking to upgrade themselves, and what is going to be the trending in the next 10 years? Certainly, we will have that in our try business agility, and at least explore what is coming in. So try business agility is the answer.
Try business is the answer. Yes. So look out for it. Probably people who don't know. Can you touch upon that? What we are trying to do in try business agility?
Yeah. So see, try business agility's vision is we have to discover, right? We have to discover the unknowns. We need to move people from unknowns to known. So we need to discover, distill, and distribute knowledge and experience, which is going to make people capable in the next generation of organization, right? Imagine a scrum master working in an organization, a traditional organization, feels that he or she is stuck and hitting the wall and I don't know where to go. And we have some doors. And through that door, you are going to access altogether a different level of expertise and knowledge. And you are going to upgrade yourself to the level which is going to keep you relevant for the next decade. And that's what we are trying to do in Try Business Agility.
Thank you, Venkat. Thank you for your time. I took the privilege of asking you some questions. I hope I asked some right questions to make you answer. Thanks everyone from tryScrum Studios.
It's a pleasure, Arun, to hear some questions from you because we have been working together for almost these many years, but we never spoke about these questions. And some people asked us, "How do I start my own company?" And that's why we started this conversation. I hope people who are looking to build their own brands, this is a little bit of inspiration that we are trying to give you. Keep going, don't stop for anybody, and you're going to be okay. Thank you, Varun.
Thank you, Venkat.